Being a software engineer has definitely opened the door to a lifestyle that I really wasn't used to while growing up. While I'm very thankful for the opportunities I've had in life, I'm also quite guilty of overspending from time to time. So this week, I decided to do a detailed tracking of those expenses. As a disclaimer, I'm still figuring a lot of this out, and this is not really representative of everyone in tech. I know people who spend significantly more and people who spend significantly less. So this is really just for entertainment purposes. Breakfast during weekends is kind of the only meal I usually enjoy cooking for. Today I'm having a bit of fruits, scrambled eggs with a flour tortilla, and I know that can barely be considered cooking, but I don't care too much. I'll leave that for when I start my cooking channel. Although it's hard to pinpoint the exact cost of my very elaborate breakfast, you'll get a glimpse of my grocery expenses in a bit. I have a busy couple of weekends ahead, so my day today is really going to be all about catching up on my to-do list. I have quite a bit of YouTube work to catch up on, and I need to clean my apartment as well. My brother also recently got a job at Microsoft and moved to Seattle, so we're roommates now and split cleaning chores on Sundays. Anyways, I'm headed to the grocery store now. Our lists are not huge. We tend to keep them pretty simple since we don't do a lot of cooking at home. Just breakfasts, and as you could tell, we also keep those pretty simple. So heading there. Oh, and I'm also meeting Abril there. When we first met at a company event, we quickly realized we were also neighbors, so it's nice that we can share a lot of our routines. It was pouring rain in typical Seattle fashion, so I came back straight into a shower, and now I'm done, so let's break this down. On average, my groceries expenses are around $40, but I got a couple of one-off items and medications this time around, so total after splitting shared items with my brother was $59.48. As Sunday evenings roll around, it's become somewhat of a tradition for us to catch up with our parents back in Mexico. And with that tradition, we've bundled a new one where Abril, my brother Morris, and I get together, order tacos, and watch a show. We're currently watching The Last of Us and loving every minute of it. And by the way, I forgot to record an Amazon purchase I did earlier, but let's add that in when it gets here. So we're done with day one, and the total for today is $102.64. It's not too bad considering it includes the groceries for the week. Anyways, I need some sleep now. I've never really been one to spend on lattes every morning, so I guess that's pretty good. I generally brew my own coffee at home. If I have time, like today, I'll probably make one using the espresso machine. And I'll break down the cost per cup somewhere on screen, since I don't have that off the top of my head. And I actually did have one of those yesterday and I forgot to add it, so I'll probably add that to the total towards the end. To start my day, I usually enjoy a bowl of fruit with Greek yogurt and a bit of granola. I know, this might as well be a cooking show. Working from home on Mondays allows me to be more productive while squeezing in some house chores between long builds. So I'm working on solving a little URL parsing bug I found, but it's lunchtime, so I'm heading out for that. And about that, Microsoft recently opened a new building literally across the street with a cafeteria, so it's too convenient to just go there for lunch when I'm working from home. And that's what I'm gonna do. I tried to eat a bit healthier today and had a chicken breast with some vegetables. It was nothing too special, but it did the trick. I of course paid for that, but drinks are free on campus, so that's nice, including a Starbucks coffee machine. So I made sure to grab one of those to push through my pending work in the afternoon. After finishing work for the day, I turned to my little home gym. I tried a couple of gyms after moving here, but I would always still find reasons to skip my workout, even with an active membership. So building one right at home has been a game changer for me. Yes, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's hard to not get that workout in if the gym is sitting right next to your living room. To be honest, my workout wasn't super intense today, but I'm actually happy that I just stuck with it. And thanks to having made that investment a couple of months ago, I can't say that my workout today was free. So I'm finally done with work and with my workout. I know I could be saving money by just cooking when I work from home, but I just don't like it. I literally did try it for a good while after moving here, like genuinely making cooking part of my life, and I just didn't love it. At least not in this stage of my life, so it's a trade-off I'm willing to make. Anyways, no more expenses for the day. I spent some time working on YouTube, and then later in the evening my brother let me know he was making homemade popcorn, so I decided to join him for a bit to start winding down. We ended up rewatching a bit of Daredevil, which is hands down one of my favorite shows. I do usually go to the office on Tuesdays, so I tend to get my caffeine from a coffee pot to save some time, which, thanks to this video, I discovered are ironically cheaper than my homemade cup of coffee. So I'll have to revisit my choice of coffee beans. Anyways, I went to the office, I had lunch with my teammates, and then got some focus time in after that. The product we're working on is getting closer to its launch date, so it's been a busy couple of days. Today's twist is that I'm venturing to downtown Bellevue in search of a suit. I have a wedding in a couple of weeks and I just remember that I'm out of a suit, since my last one broke on me late last year. It's an unexpected expense and sadly I don't have a lot of time to find a good deal if I want this tailored and ready before I need to travel. As for transportation, I don't own a car, so I keep a monthly Uber budget, which I'm definitely using today to save some time. Also, I'd gotten my last suit in Mexico. They're clearly not priced the same here.
Oh my god, that was expensive. I knew suits were expensive, but I really wasn't expecting to pay over $1,000 today, so there's that.
Anyways, after that, I just headed home. When I moved to the US, I did make one commitment to myself, and that was to not cheap out on traveling back to Mexico City. I was hoping to go to bed, but I remembered I hadn't purchased my flight, so I realized I might as well do it now. I already spent quite a bit of money today, so this week won't be the most accurate reflection of what a regular week in my life looks like. But I thought it would be interesting to also put in the kind of extraordinary expenses that I generally run in. So I'm gonna leave this in the video, and towards the end I'll also subtract the expenses that don't happen on a regular basis, so you also get a glimpse of my average spending. So I clearly don't remember to take these every day, but I did remember today, so it goes in the video. These are just daily greens from Huel. I don't really love the taste, honestly, but this is me trying to compensate for not really cooking a lot of healthy meals during the week. So, cheers. I didn't get a lot of my day recorded after that, unfortunately. Like I said, stressful times at work. But it's also times like these when I'm extra thankful for not having long commutes and having the convenience of a cafeteria in my same office building. I walked back home and got some exercise in. I'm trying to get back in shape after being really inactive and eating insane amounts of food over the winter. Not my biggest workout, but it'll have to do since my brother and I are having some friends over to play board games. We've been playing a campaign of Mice and Mystics, and when we get together we generally do have takeout. I'll be sure to keep track of that, but first I need a shower. Growing up, I was never really into board games, and I blame Uno for that. However, after moving to Seattle, I started playing a bit more, and I'm actually starting to enjoy it. I'm especially liking campaign-based board games because of the storytelling aspect and just seeing how your choices affect the game. While my morning was fairly ordinary, Avril had to pick her new glasses at the Microsoft Commons, so we thought it would be a perfect opportunity to grab lunch there as well. I also did read your comments in my past videos suggesting to reduce the use of disposable cups. As a fun fact, Microsoft had already taken an eco-friendly initiative there, since all of their cups are actually compostable. Still, I agree that a reusable bottle is probably more environmentally friendly, so I decided to go see if there was any that I liked at the company store. And this never happens, but the one I chose ended up having a 75% discount, so I managed to get it for just over $6. Oh, and the store is right next to the visitor center, so here's a little tour of that. Anyways, after that, I went back to the office and wrote some code during the rest of my afternoon. As if all of my expenses weren't enough, I just remembered I ordered this on Sunday. Let me show you what this was. I got this new camera lens thanks to a yearly stipend we get from Microsoft for fitness and recreational activities, so I can use some of that budget to offset the cost. It is a taxable perk, however, so I only end up getting back around 75% of the price I paid. Oh, and I also got my subscription-based deodorant, which I had forgotten to cancel after trying out. And there's lifestyle creep for you. Depending on how much work I have, or if I need any flexibility with my day, I sometimes choose to work from home on Fridays. Most of my team and office friends do so as well, so there aren't also many incentives to be physically there. However, I am actually taking some time off today because I'm moving. Thankfully, it's just a transfer within the same apartment building, but they gave us less than 2 days to empty this one and hand over the keys, so let's see how that goes. We moved because the footsteps noise from above was extremely bad and starting to impact our health. The new apartment is in a top floor, so it should technically be a lot better. Plus, it has a very similar layout, so all of our furniture should fit the same. We had Panda Express for dinner, but I was too exhausted to even remember to record any part of it. Given such a short amount of time, we needed to hire some help to get everything done on time. We were around 98% done with everything in the move. Like, the new apartment is almost completely set up, so I'm pretty happy about that, but I'm also really tired. Total cost for the move was, I think, $440, including tip for the movers. It's not too bad. Given that we needed to vacate the previous apartment so quickly, I think it was totally worth it, so I'll make the final tally for the week later. Right now I just need some sleep, so. And while it's technically not Saturday anymore, I promised to treat Abril to sushi for all the help with the move, so on Sunday we all went to downtown Bellevue and had a great time. And now, time for the final tally. First, my groceries expenses, pretty much just my single grocery run, plus my daily greens, which added $4.50 for the 3 days that I had them. So total there is $63.98. Next, for transportation, I spent $29.86, but that definitely depends on the week. Work week lunch is somewhat of a bigger expense, but I do get a lot of value from having that convenience. Total for this week was $41.14. Eating out is definitely one of my biggest recurring expenses. I expect that to change with time and as soon as I start making a goal out of cooking, but right now it's something we just really enjoy, so I budget ahead of time for it. Total for this week, however, is $178.47. Next up is shopping, and I had somewhat of a bigger purchase this week with my new camera lens, but fortunately I'll be reimbursed for most of it, and the total I expect to be paying for that will be about $142.88. As you probably noticed, I skipped the purchase of my suit from there, since this week saw several extraordinary expenses and I don't really cover these with my regular paycheck. I have savings builder targets configured with YNAB with corresponding automatic transfer to my savings account for categories like travel and unexpected expenses, so that's really what I used to cover these. Well, I used my credit card to get the points, but I pulled from my savings to pay it off in full. Biggest category by far, as you probably guessed, with a whopping total of $2,346.51. However, to paint a more complete picture of my expenses, let's also look at some of the fixed costs that I pay off every month. Rent is not cheap where I live, but my part is about $2,180. The reason it varies is that it includes most of the utilities in there. Internet I do pay separately and it's $45 per month, and thanks to YNAB I also have a monthly budget for my subscriptions, and that is about $67.64. All of this translates into me having a fixed weekly expense of $573.16. That brings us to a grand total of $3,376. However, excluding extraordinary expenses, that number comes down to $1,029.49, which is quite a bit, but I still suspect it's on the upper bound since I don't really purchase camera lenses every week and my shopping expenses are generally fairly low. Again, this was just a slice of my life and my expenses have varied quite a bit since I moved here. I'm constantly recalibrating and finding ways to save more and be smarter with how I spend my money, but I still hope you got something out of this nonetheless. If you're still curious about my financial journey in big tech, I also recently made a video outlining my top money mistakes after becoming a software engineer, so feel free to go watch that next. In any case, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.